So then, you know what the next 20 minutes of the show was?
No.
A ladder match between The Miz and Dexter Lumis. And they start out with a dozen ladders set up all around the ringside. And within seconds, one of them was already in play. And I thought, it's The Miz, it's a ladder match, and it's going to be way too fucking long. So I'm skipping it. And I was right on all counts. However, at some point, because I had the visual speed search, Dexter Lumis did a leg drop off the top of one of the ladders outside onto the announce desk, and Miz moved and the desk blew into a million pieces. And that wasn't even the finish. They still just got up and kept going. So after about 20 minutes, that's where Bronson Reed came in. And that's one of the big news stories of the week is Bronson Reed is another guy that's back as a result of Triple H's talent rehabilitation program. And we talked about it on the Drive-Thru. We hadn't seen the clip at the time, but some of the fans on the internet were complaining, how can he leave a top spot in New Japan? He was going to have a great run. The answer is for like 5 times the amount of money. But obviously, Triple H sees something in him. And that can't be a bad sign, even though he's, being involved with The Miz. We talked about it when he was in NXT. He looks great. His shit looks good for a guy. He Bam Bam Bigelow-ish in that he is limber and light on his feet, but his splash off the top looks good and firm, all that stuff. But basically, the problem was, again, the finish. I don't know who does these fucking finishes. If it's the writers and then the agents or producers just have to bear up under these parameters. But yes, we know that a ladder match is no DQ, lazy booking. But the finish was Lumis has dispatched The Miz. He's down. And Lumis is on top of the ladder, and he's about to get the money they've hung. When all of a sudden Bronson Reed comes in the ring and just in front of the referee and everybody pulls Lumis off the ladder and beats him up and came off the top rope with a great big splash on him. It looked like $1 million. And then Bronson Reed sets the ladder up and then pulls The Miz back to his feet, helps him climb the ladder to get them all in full view. It's the wrong kind of heat. Yes, the returning heel should hit the ring and do something or make some kind of impact in hopefully a quick and decisive fashion to lead to the other heel winning. But it shouldn't be so long and egregiously in front of the referee to where everybody's sitting there that's not scribbling notes for their, the report on their Wrestling Site or podcast, which that means if there's 10,000 people in a building, there's 7 people that are not doing that. They're just sitting there going, well, this is bullshit because the referee's looking right at it. And that's why there's an art to finishes where things can happen and things you can get in and get out while the referee is distracted, or you make things plausible. You don't just come up with the idea of this is what I want to do and do it and ignore everything about the scene that's going on all around you. So I'm glad he's back. I think he's a good talent, and I think they can get a lot out of him. I wish it hadn't been the wrong kind of heat and a rotten finish that could have been polished up to where it didn't have to be so hokey at the end where The Miz is so unconscious that he's even got to fucking help push him up the ladder. And a lot of people to take up for that finish will say, well, that's The Miz's gimmick. He's supposed to be so ineffectual and whatever. Well, then figure out what's something to do with the referee. Don't let him sit there and watch the whole goddamn thing. Anyway, that's what I thought about that, the Bronson Reed return. But I think he'll be better off than he would have been in New Japan, even if his matches aren't as many stars.